Eat me! I'm a turkey! Eating parrots and penguins wouldn't be the same! Eat me! I'm a turkey! Gobble me up before the football game! Delicious!
And now it's time for another edition of the 12th Man Fan Jam. With your hosts, the Reverend Moses of the St. Paul Allen Church of Seahawk Positivity.
Yes, thank you, Magic Voice. This is the self-appointed Reverend Moses of the St. Paul Allen Church of Seahawk Positivity, and welcome 12s to episode 319, the Steelers edition of your 12th Man Fan Jam show, the show made up of Seahawk fans from around the world just like you, talking about your Seattle Seahawks. Over the next few moments we share together, we hope that you are entertained as we discuss your Seattle Seahawks as they prepare to take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. So sit back, relax, grab a desired beverage or sit of your choice, and remember, be thankful your quarterback isn't Tony Romo. As is the usual with every show, I am joined by the 12th Man Fan Jam Posse, a ragtag group of diehard Seahawk fans just like you from around the world. First, my partner in crime, the yin to my yang, from merry old England, none other but Matt himself. Hi, Matt.
Hi, Moses. How are you?
I'm wonderful, Matt. How are you today?
Well, I bring good news and bad.
Oh, no. Bring good news and bad. You don't say. Well, do share. What is the good news?
Well, the good news is it's Black Friday.
Yes, that is. What is the
so
bad
racist.
news? What's the bad news?
Austin just stole my whole thing, so I'm not going to bother now. So quite frankly, stuff it. I'm not even caring anymore.
Get out here, everybody!
Hey, Black Fridays matter.
All Fridays matter.
Oh, wow.
But
Well, White Thursdays matter too, so, you know.
Don't
My
forget Cyber
goodness.
Monday. Cyber Monday.
Yes, Cyber Monday. Can't wait. Also here from the state of Washington, our own news hound. His 12th Man editorials can be found on SeahawksSal.com. You know him as Shadowhawk. We know him as Will. Hi, Will.
Moses, how are you?
Wonderful. What are you thankful for, Will? Are you thankful?
I am thankful I'm not an Eagles fan.
Yes, I think we're all thankful for that. I think there's no doubt about that.
That bird got plucked.
It did. Well, they're going to go to the Super Bowl. Remember, that's what Byron Maxwell said at the beginning of the year.
What, he's watching?
Yeah, how'd they get tickets?
Yeah. Please welcome our posse also from the state of Washington. He is known as Dustin. Hi, Dustin. What are you thankful for?
You know, to be here. I'm just happy to be here.
Dustin's thankful to be anywhere, I think.
Overflowing with Thanksgiving here.
Yes. Our excited one.
You guys know how to celebrate Thanksgiving, don't you?
Yeah.
He hasn't shaken the tryptophan yet. You know, too much.
Yeah,
turkey.
too much tryptophan right now. He's on tryptophan overload. He's going to be like Dr. Ben Carson if he's not careful. But sorry, I went there. I'm sorry. I just lost half our listeners. All right. Sadly, our man from the Hotel California.
How do you lose half of one person? How does
Well,
that work?
they just turn off and they turn back on later. Yeah.
You know, they were Siamese twins. One of them stopped listening.
Half of us are not listening.
It's a very unique demographic we're shooting for.
It is.
Siamese twins.
We're Seahawk fans.
Yeah.
Sadly, from California, behind enemy lines, Statsman Mark is not here with us for the show this week. He was last seen headed towards Texas to join Johnny Manziel, so we wish him a lot of luck there. Just kidding. We miss you, Statsman Mark, and we can't wait for you to come back on the show. Gentlemen, let's get to the show. For those who've listened before, thank you for joining us again. And for those who are listening for the first time, don't worry. We promise we'll be gentle, but be careful. Rawls may run you over. The show's run just like a real NFL football game. We have 4 quarters and a halftime. In the first quarter, we'll have news of the NFL from Will. And at the end of the first quarter, we'll give out special tweets to Jerry Jones. You want to stay tuned for that, at least through the first quarter. Yay! If you make it through that, the second quarter, we're going to talk about the 49er game, have a recap. And, of course, that ends with a new caption, that picture. And at 2-minute warning, we go over our predictions, our prognostications, and our game balls for last week's Seahawk victory over the 49ers. At halftime, it's the best Seahawk-themed play-along game on the internet, a game you can play along with as well. We put the questions and answers on the board. So you can look at it on YouTube. It's 12th Man Fan Jam Halftime Trivia. And by the way, I happen to have gone data searching at the 12th Man Fan Jam show.
Well, there's a first.
And I went some data collecting. And the results may stun, sadden, or surprise you, but here they are. We've had 61 shows. I know, we can't get canceled. But of those 61 shows, we have played trivia at halftime 32 out of 61 times, okay?
I was hoping it'd be 45.
Yeah, I know, not quite. We'll celebrate the 45th trivia. Of those 32 times that we've played halftime trivia, Matt has won 15 out of 32. That's almost half.
Yeah, I always knew you were good at maths.
I was going to guess 27.
That's almost half. And that includes, now listen, that also includes, we have in this season alone, we've played trivia 15 times. He's won 7 out of 15 in this season alone. So 32 out of 61 altogether, or 15 out of 32 altogether. Will and Mark both have won 7 times. That's pretty good.
Wow.
The guests on our show, we've had guests on our show in the past, have won 2. Mark Ty Turner, who has a wonderful couple of books out about the Seahawks, a friend of the show, he won trivia one time. And Andy from Canada, our friend Andy, who's been on the show a few times, he's won one. And Dustin...
Was I on the panel at that point? Was I on the show?
Well, yeah, I think you were. But Dustin's won once. So...
Fucking American education system.
Matt at 15, Will and Mark tied at 7, guests at 2, and Dustin at 1. Now, to be fair, Dustin, he has not been what I would call a regular on the show until this season. So
irregular, been very irregular.
He's very irregular.
He had a recurring role.
So but that, he was a featured what they call on Saturday Night Live. He was a featured performer, also featuring Dustin. All right,
Dancing Monkey.
That's halftime. Following halftime, we'll have a special top 3 from me, which will be the best or worst steals of all time. And quarter 3, we'll have injury stats and point spread for the Steelers game coming up. And of course, quarter 4, we'll have our predictions, our prognostications, and our game balls. That, folks, is a full show. But before we start it, we'd like to remind you to like, share, subscribe to the Seahawk Positivity YouTube channel, contact us on this thread or in the comment section of this video for feedback, email us at 12thmanfanjam@gmail.com, tell us what you think. Please join our Facebook group, 12th Man Fan Jam Show. We have lots of Seahawk discussions and fun on there. We also have a game thread on there doing Seahawk games, also a lot of fun. And we're on Twitter at Seahawk Positivity. So, let's go ahead and get to that first quarter and news. Yes, news from around the NFL while you were passed out on the couch from eating too much turkey. Here's our 12th Man Fan Jam News Hound Shadowhawk Will with the news. Brought to you by our sponsor, the Ben Roethlisberger doll. Warning, don't place too close to Barbies. Will, what you got for us?
Well, Moses, it's kind of funny that you mentioned Johnny Manziel a few moments ago because my first story is all about Johnny.
Oh, see, we love Johnny on the news section.
He's like Twitter. He makes my job so easy sometimes.
We should get a theme song for Johnny Manziel. Johnny Manziel news coming up.
I could think of a few songs that would fit, but...
I'm going to work on that. Next time we have a Johnny Manziel story, I'm going to be ready.
All right, I will keep you posted. But
thank you.
Anyway, as most of you know by now, Johnny Manziel had been anointed as the Browns starter for the last 6 games of the season because, really, why not?
Because it's the Browns.
However, he lost that job during the bye week when photos surfaced of him partying in Texas after promising for, I think, about the 45th time to clean up his act, not party, and actually put in the work that a starting quarterback you would expect one to do.
I am shocked.
However, it gets worse.
No.
Because according to Fox Sports' Jay Glazer, not only did Johnny Manziel party a week in Texas, but he lied about it to the team and tried to recruit others to vouch for his lie. So
I feel like that's like a team building experience right there, though. You got to protect the quarterback.
If you love me, you'll let me.
But yeah, he lied about partying and he tried to get people to back him up. And apparently he lies about as well as he plays professional football because they found him out.
He runs around and makes mistakes. That's pretty much what he does in football, isn't it?
He probably tried to recruit his offensive lines. Like, you guys don't protect me in a game, just protect me now.
The defensive backs, look, you can't cover during a game, but cover for me, please. God. So he's third string, is he not now?
Yeah, he is third string. Josh McCown is now starting again, and again,
Upgrade.
It doesn't really matter, but
The poor Browns. Oh, the poor Browns.
I feel so sorry for that fan base because they've suffered so much, and it's just not getting any better.
And it's a really good fan base. I mean, they're pretty diehard, usually. They stick with that team no matter what.
Even when they drafted Manziel, they they faked it.
Woohoo, Manziel. Get my number 2 jersey down. Oh, boy.
Well, he plays like number 2, all right.
Now he does, yes. It never ends, does it?
Well, it never really started, did it, really, to be frankly honest? I mean, he's had nothing but trouble from the minute he arrived. I mean, I remember, I was sure it was Johnny in the draft when he was just sitting there waiting for a phone call that just didn't arrive. And then he got
There's a good reason for that.
That was it.
And then he got the Browns, and he looked so angry. Well, he was probably sober at that point. That's probably why he looked so upset.
I'm not used to this.
He's not used to this. I think it's very sad, really. I mean, and I do feel sorry for the fans. Because they have to wear those hideous jerseys as it is, and now they have also nothing to sing about either. And they've got Johnny Football, who's a complete drunkard. Brilliant.
Yes, exactly.
Brilliant.
Well, and as Daniel Tosh pointed out, hey, don't feel bad. Don't blame Johnny Manziel. I mean, who else wants to be sober in Cleveland? So, I mean, fair point. It's a great point.
Yeah,
He brought up a great point. But poor Johnny. What other articles do you have for us this evening, Will?
Well, my next one involves one of my other favorite people in the NFL this year, Jim Bob Cooter.
God.
Jim Bob Cooter.
Sadly, no. I don't think sadly is the right word. I don't want to wish the guy ill, but no arrests, nothing bizarre. But just pointing out the fact that the Lions have actually won 3 straight games, including their demolition of the Eagles yesterday. Yep, we got the
Thanks to Jim Bob Cooter.
But anyway, he's winning over his players, and particularly Matt Stafford. It's been good, Stafford said. Jim Bob and I have a good relationship. He's a smart guy. He communicates well with the guys on our offense. He's young in his job, but he's not afraid. Stafford also said Cooter called a play in the second quarter that was full of slant routes, but changed his mind before actually running it. Quote, he said, screw that. Let's be aggressive. Then he gave me 4 verticals. I was fired up for it.
See, he's not afraid. He's like kissing your cousin. You just got to go do it.
But the Lions may have found something that works, and his name is Jim Bob. It's been a weird year.
We praise Jim Bob Cooter. Good old Jim Bob. Jim Bob Cooter, bless his heart. And hey, screw that, man. Let's just go for it. Let's be aggressive. Let's go. If he doesn't talk like that, I'll be sad. I don't want to see any press conferences.
Does he chew tobacco and spit it?
Oh my God, he
must.
must.
Thinking that the guy should chew tobacco if he doesn't.
Oh my God. I mean, seriously. I'm never going to watch a press conference because his voice has to sound like this. Well, we were going to run a bunch of these slant pars, and I brought Stafford over. I said, "Screw that, man. Let's just go for it, man. Let's just do it."
I'm picturing the assistant coach and the water boy. It's like, we gotta slant around here. Let's just be aggressive. Go 4 verticals, Baba Boucher.
Oh my God. Oh, Jim Bob Cooter is juvenile. I love Jim Bob Cooter. That was juvenile. I don't care. Jim Bob Cooter is just a great name for anybody, especially in the NFL, and to be calling offensive plays. Can you imagine if Jim Bob Cooter's team makes it to the Super Bowl? And I
just want him to be a head coach someday.
I know, and then he gets a head coaching job. Exactly. Oh, Jim Bob Cooter, the head coach. That would be awesome. He has to be in Tennessee. I'm sorry. He has to be south and Mason-Dixon line.
No, I want it to be someplace like New York or something like that, just for the contrast.
That'd be kind of like selling out, though. It'd be like Crocodile Dundee 2. He goes to New York or whatever.
Well,
That's
true.
not a knife.
That's not a play. This is the play.
This is a play.
Yeah.
Oh my God. We love Jim Bob Cooter and Johnny Manziel on this show. We do. But Will, who else do we love?
Well, Moses, I love talking about the team that I was fervently praying would take Johnny Manziel on draft. That, of course, would be the Dallas Cowboys. Now, Dallas, as we all know, the Cowboys have taken a lot of heat for signing and standing by Greg Hardy. But it turns out we finally found something that the Cowboys will not stand for, at least when backups are concerned. Recently, the Cowboys cut cornerback Corey White and former Seahawk Kristen Michael, who I believe is now with the Redskins.
Yes.
And it turns out the reason they were both cut is because when they showed up for the flight to Tampa for a game last week, they weren't wearing suits.
What?
No, White said, yeah. Corey White said that his choice of clothing was the reason for his release, and Garrett didn't deny it, saying, quote, "We evaluate our players every minute of every day. We evaluate our players in meetings, in walkthroughs, on the practice field, the opportunity to get in games, etc., etc. The body of work of each of these guys. We evaluate all of it. At some point, you say, we feel like we should give someone else the opportunity to have this privilege to be a Dallas Cowboy. That's what we did in both of these cases." So
They should probably evaluate
apparently-
the rap sheet every once in a while. A police
I was going to say,
report.
question arriving on runway 5. Oh my God.
Well, it just goes to show if you're a star, you can put your girlfriend onto a couch full of rifles. But if you're a backup, you better wear a suit.
Sorry, can you just repeat? Did he say the privilege of being a Dallas Cowboy?
Yeah.
Maybe he was trying to be ironic. I don't know.
I love it. Moronic, more like.
Well, you know what
Crazy.
they say. How about them Cowboys? How about them Cowboys? Oh dear God!
How about them?
How about them? Yeah, you have a dress code, but apparently you don't have a conduct code. But
ironically, if you were to show up in an orange prison jumpsuit, you'd still be on the team. So that's acceptable.
Well, that's what Greg Hardy did wear to the flight to Tampa. So.
It's funny you should bring that up. Because this is a nice segue to another story that Will did not share. And I do want to share this before we break for the quarter. And we usually do 3 stories and we stop. But this one is very much Cowboys related. And I just love the title. It's from Up Rocks with 2 X's, up, ROXX.com sports section. And this is the article headline, which I just could not stop enjoying. The headline is this: "Things went horribly wrong when the NFL Network did an Ask Jerry Jones hashtag." That's the title. Okay, so
I like this already.
yes, here's what they did. The NFL Network said, "Hey, you can ask Jerry Jones anything you want." So people did. I'd like to give a shout out to, and I'm not making these names or these up. Here are some actual tweets that were sent out that night to hashtag Ask Jerry Jones from OHB or Oh Holy Butt, and I'm not making that title up. They said, "Jerry Jones, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much worse is missing a meeting than beating a woman?" So, King Favre wrote the following. Ray Caruth, remember Ray Caruth for the Panthers, murder. Ray Caruth is expected to be released from prison in 2018 with a need at wide receiver. Will you be interested in signing him?
Awesome.
Mike Gessner, Cal Bears 96, wrote, "Jerry Jones, if you could go back in time and murder baby Hitler, would you do it or sign him as a defensive back?"
Oh, God.
Dan Levy said, "Will you make Bill Cosby the new cheerleading coach?" I'm not making these up. NRG Grassfield said, "Is there any crime a football player could commit that would actually stop you from signing him?"
Not wearing suits, apparently.
Yeah, Mole Loco said, "Which prisons do you plan on visiting in the offseason looking for new players?" Brendan O'Connor said, "If O.J. Simpson, Greg Hardy, and Pablo Escobar were all in their prime and available, which one would you sign?"
Wow.
And finally, there's a couple more. Hold on. 2 more. T. Craig 9 asked Jerry Jones, if Jeffrey Dahmer would have never been murdered in jail, do you think he would have turned out as an elite slot receiver? And then Bill Murr said, "Do you plan on signing Ray Rice for the domestic abuser hat trick?" So, I asked
in
the
the
posse.
entire history of Twitter, have any of these Ask So-and-So campaigns ever not ended in disaster?
Oh,
No,
I don't think any of them have.
I don't think this ended in disaster at all. I think it's awesome. I just think they need to learn to not have these things.
It gives us more material for our show, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
I asked the posse, and I know, Matt, did you have something that if you could...
I've got a couple actually now. So I think about
okay.
it.
Would you share one or two? Share one first.
Yeah, I'll share one. So ask Jerry Jones. Jerry, following on from your acting role as Kane from Poltergeist 2, will you be returning in Handjob Cabin 2?
Oh,
Yikes!
It's more than 140 characters, though.
Yeah,
he was really good in Poltergeist, though.
I think mine is too. But
good in Poltergeist.
go ahead, Matt. You got another one? You want to ask Jerry Jones something?
So, hashtag ask Jerry Jones. So this glory hole of yours, is it winner stays on?
Does anybody else have one? Because I do. And
no.
My tweet to ask Jerry Jones would be this: hashtag ask Jerry Jones. Jerry, Adolf Hitler, Jeffrey Dahmer, and Charlie Manson walk into a bar. Who has the best 40 time?
Nice.
And that will be the end of the first quarter.
It's the end of the first quarter, bitches.
Oh, we got a lot of shows still ahead. We are going to play halftime trivia. We're going to preview the Steelers game, but after this short break, it's the second quarter, and we look back at last week's 49ers game coming up next.
You're listening to the 12th Man Fan Jam on the Seahawk Positivity YouTube channel.
Blaine? His name is Blaine? Oh, that's a major appliance. That's not a name.
Holy shit, it's the second quarter.
Yes, welcome to the second quarter of your 12th Man Fan Jam show. As we take a look back at the 49ers game from last week, please remember to join our 12th Man Fan Jam show group on Facebook. Email us at 12thmanfanjam@gmail.com and Seahawk Positivity on Twitter. The second quarter brought to you this evening by our sponsor, the Colin Kaepernick Bicep Kisser, now on clearance rack. Okay, let's talk about last week's game, gentlemen. Victory for the Seahawks, 29-13 over the 49ers. Dustin, your overall view of that game, what are your thoughts?
Just thank God for a quick start for once and a little bit of red zone efficiency.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, those are beautiful things to see happen. And Rawls, oh my God, that guy, he was all over it, man.
He wasn't bad.
No. Whenever I heard that Lynch was out, I was like, I don't know about this. I'm not really liking this. Lynch is missing a lot. And Rawls had stepped in and done a decent job previously, but it felt like a big game, and I felt like we needed to be in there, 100% full staff as much as we could be. But man, Rawls stepped up. That dude, I love the way he got that quick first step, which allows him to get through the line. And then when he has the option to go out of bounds or to punish somebody, he punishes them, which is the way he finishes runs is beautiful. And he is a hard runner. I mean, there was one play in the first quarter, I forget who it was, shot up the middle, blasted in, knocked him back. He was able to get around and still get the first down when it should have been a loss for a couple of yards.
Mm-hmm.
And that was just pure fun in the first half, especially.
Yep. I agree. And I'm actually, I said, I'm going to put my own torn here, that, Rawls has been streaky in successive starts, but I hope he continues to shine. We don't need 200 from him. But I wasn't too worried, actually. I was kind of like, you know what? I thought it felt pretty good. Felt pretty good about him being there. So, what about you, Matt? What are your thoughts about the football game?
We don't want to go too crazy. We were playing the 49ers, so it's a bit like a high school team. So you got to put a little bit of realism in there. But Rawls did indeed he had a great game. It was great to watch it as well. And I think Dustin's right, scoring in every quarter, really just taking it to them and not sitting back and waiting for that fourth quarter. Although I have to say that I did get a little bit wobbly just before the half when we allowed them just to go straight down the field and score. And I'm like, what happened there then? Mm-hmm. Let's not have another one of these situations where we're going to put ourselves backwards. But yeah, I mean, it was better in terms of penalties, if memory serves. It was better. It was just a better game all round, and that's the sort of game I would have hoped we would have played against the Cardinals, to be fair, because we would still, had we have played the way we played the Cardinals against the 49ers, we probably would have won that as well. But had we have played the way we played the 49ers against the Cardinals, that might have been a difference for us too. So we weren't firing the week before. This week we were firing, so it was good to see.
It was. Will, is there some to that? It's the 49ers, or were you really overall impressed with the Seahawks, or what are your thoughts?
Well, I think we're going to learn a lot this weekend when we actually have a legitimate NFL team coming to town. But,
yeah,
it is what it is. I mean, yeah, we were playing the 49ers, didn't play down to them. We had some, Wilson had some great throws. Rawls, of course, looked great. The defense was pretty stifling for the most part. It was just that was probably the most fun Seahawks game we've watched all year, just in terms of how well they were playing and how many big plays and wow moments there were. So, if nothing else, it was a fun game. I think it could be the springboard to start to go on a run here, but we'll see. The next game and then the Vikings game are going to be huge.
Absolutely. Dustin, it was the 49ers, but it seemed to me like the offensive line is getting better and better. Did you feel that way?
No, I thought they were trash. Rawls did it all by himself, honestly. So, they were better, man. Yeah, run blocking was there. The pass blocking they're not going to be at Tom Cable-led freaking offensive line is never going to be a great pass blocking team. But good thing we have Russell Wilson. He can run around, make some plays with his legs. So,
but one part about that, Dustin. Actually, the Tacoma News-Tribune had an article on this yesterday. Was after giving up so many sacks in the first 7 games, Wilson's only been sacked 4 times in the last 3.
Yes.
When we've had Patrick Lewis in there at center for the most. I think just having an experienced center in there has made a lot of difference. I mean, yeah, you still got the limitations of all the guys we have out there, but just getting the calls right, getting all the mental things done, I think that in and of itself is
definitely.
Well, and I think, it looked to me like Wilson has, and I don't blame him, because the first 6-7 games have been just a disaster in pass protection. But they're getting better. He's getting time. He has to start, I hate to say this word, but to me what came out of my mind this whole game, and there's a theme here, the first part of this is Russell Wilson has to trust. He's got to trust that line. There was a pocket for him. He has to give them time before he starts scrambling. There were a couple times I could see him getting that itch that he wanted to run, but he stayed a little bit longer, and we were getting more passes downfield, and I think that's going to come. But obviously, for 6 or 7 games, you've had to run and run and run. It's going to be hard for him to trust, but I think if he starts trusting that line, they are getting better. They are getting pretty good at pass protection, and I hope he continues to trust them.
Yeah, not only that, something that would help with that quite a bit, I think, is that his timing has to be a little better with his throws, because there's often times where he waits till the receiver's open and then he throws the ball. He's got to anticipate them being open and lead him and throw them open a little bit, and that'll help with the sacks too, and that'll make the offensive line look that much better.
And let them work for it a little bit. And that, I'm going to get to that in a minute, but let those guys who are covered, supposedly, let them make a play. Let them make a play. And that's the second part of trust that I'm going to get to with him. I don't
think his throws have been all that hot this season. He's had some that were underthrown and overthrown, and there was one I think to Curse which was too high. And I think Curse was wide open as well. I think he has been a little bit off, and I think his footwork's been a little bit off. But I think you're right, Mose. I think what that comes back down to is him being nervous about the fact that he's got less time than ever to get that ball out. Most pocket passes have a little bit longer than he was getting. I did like to see him run though. I'd like to see that read option. I think it's still one of our one of our powerful weapons with our quarterback, because he can do it. So I think that's still a weapon we can use. But he has got to get his passes far more accurate. He's got to get back into that rhythm.
That thing with that read option, though, he's got to actually pull the ball and run with it a little bit in the first half. A lot of times he doesn't do that. He just hands it off, and they stop respecting it. Go ahead.
Although if you've got rules running 260 whatever yards, whatever it is, then just keep handing it off, because I'm quite happy with those numbers as well.
Exactly.
Kind of hard to argue with the results there, but
yeah, this week, yeah.
Yeah. Something I went back and I watched a game because I have a 10-year-old who loves to do that, so I watch it with him, of course. But one guy I kind of spotlighted this week when I watched it the second time, and I want to go on a little bit of a rant here. And it is a Jimmy Graham rant, because everyone's complaining about, he only has 4 catches. This guy is open almost every time down the field, and that's the second thing I trust. Wilson has got to trust Jimmy Graham catches the ball. Like someone said at the beginning of the year, it's simple. If Jimmy's open, throw him the ball. If Jimmy's not open, throw him the ball, because he's going to catch it. This guy makes plays when there are 2 or 3 guys on him. But I'm telling you, that touchdown he threw to Lockett, if you look to the left, Jimmy Graham's running a skinny post. He's as wide open as Lockett. It could have been either one of those guys. And he was open a lot. And my second part of the Jimmy rant is this. His blocking in this game was much, 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 much better than it's been all year. And it has not been good. But his blocking in this game in particular, if you go back and watch him block, especially on run plays, he's opening holes for Rawls. Believe it or not, 88 is in the front of that. And he has been blocking much, much better as a blocking tight end, and I think he's getting open. And I think Russell's got to trust Jimmy Graham. I don't think Jimmy's the problem here. I think Jimmy's open, and I think Jimmy's doing what we're asking him to do. I think it's a question of getting him the ball.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that. I think but again, Jimmy Graham's in a position where if you're hot on the running play on that particular game, and we had a hot running game, you stick with the running game. We were making yards after yards after yards. There was no need to necessarily do all that, do the throwovers.
Absolutely.
But I mean, I think his figures for this season, I think he's not on for a bad season.
No.
If memory serves, I haven't got the figures in front of me, and Mark would know them probably off his head. But he's not on for a bad season, so I don't think it's that he's underutilized necessarily. I just think that he's in a team where there are multiple sort of different offenses going on, mainly the running game.
Right.
The only stat that doesn't look great at first blush is touchdowns, and I think that's going to come over the next 6 weeks in terms of catches and yards. I mean, he's been having a good year, and what Moses said about his blocking was, I mean, he's been getting better as a blocker all year, and I think this game he really shined. So
he shined in this last game.
It's the kind of thing where we may have wanted to see it earlier in the year, but we're seeing it now, and he's going to finish strong one way or another.
I think as far as him connecting with Jimmy goes, part of the reason, and I know people hate to hear it, I think part of it is his height, to be honest with you, because I know that is part of the deal with that. And I remember when we first drafted Russell, there was articles that I read about Drew Brees, and who is much taller than Russell, to be honest with you. And he says that most of the time, or a lot of the time anyways, he doesn't know. He can't see what's going on, but he reads the coverage, and he anticipates where his player is going to be. So he throws the ball in anticipation, not knowing, not being able to see the situation, just guessing that's what's going to happen. And Warren Moon was talking about it, same kind of thing, where he was like, even at my height, he's like, there's tons of plays all game long where I couldn't see what was going on. I was just anticipating they're going to be where they need to be, and based on the coverage, I thought I could get the ball into that spot. I don't think Russell has developed that trait yet where he's able to trust to do that. And I think part of that is a philosophical thing for the team, where they say, do not turn the ball over, do not turn the ball over, don't take these risks.
Right.
And I think part of that is a risk to Russell, is not seeing what's going to happen. He doesn't trust it. I can't risk it. I don't want to turn the ball over.
Yep.
I think that's a big part of it.
Great point.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, I do too. Defensively, something I want to share before we go into the 2-minute warning, and I'll start with Matt. There were a couple plays in this game, and there were a couple plays in every game, where in the last 2 years, this defense has made turnovers. They have caught the interceptions. They have caused the fumbles and recovered them. And it's just not happening right now, Matt. Is this a huge concern? Because I think last couple of years, we're getting those pick sixes. We're getting those interceptions. And now they're hitting us and they're falling. It was defended, and it was. But is this a big concern as we move forward the rest of the year as far as the lack of turnovers by this defense?
I think our defense has concerns me at different times, really, and different things. I think there have been opportunities for there to be takeaways, and those takeaways have not happened. I think sometimes that's just sod's law. It's just the way the game goes. I don't think it's through a lack of effort. I think that we go back to something that we were talking about last week, was that some defensive and the secondary were playing out of position in order to make up for the sort of drop in performance from other players. hires, and that puts everything slightly off kilter. I mean, at the end of the day, they want more turnovers. We need more turnovers, and especially lock out those fourth quarters and win us more football games. So I think they have to happen. But there were some that were missed, but then there were some last year and the year before that were missed as well.
Yeah.
It's just a bad season for some of our secondary, I think.
I think so too. Will, defensive thoughts going into this next game?
Well, we're going to need some turnovers this week. We need to give our offense some short fields. Cliff Averill, if Cliff Averill is not a Pro Bowler, I'm going to go off because the guy has just been a beast all year.
I totally agree.
Yeah, whatever, Matt. But yeah, again,
I just love the idea of you going off on one about it. I just think that would be awesome. It's like marching down to New York and just storming in and just knocking Goodell's computer off the table and just spitting in his face and walking out again.
Okay. And then getting fined.
I'm in.
They're getting fined and suspended.
But yeah, it's just defense. Yeah, we're not getting the turnovers, but it was fun to watch them beat up on what was really a hapless San Francisco 49er team. Although Blaine Gabbert looked a lot better than Colin Kaepernick did when we played him.
He did.
He did.
He was surprisingly evasive in the pocket.
He was.
He was able to move around a lot better than I thought he could.
Very evasive for an appliance, but
still lost.
Yes.
Blaine? His name is Blaine?
That's a name, not an appliance. All right. Well, let's go ahead and...
name, not an appliance.
I think he got the line backwards. Yeah, a little bit.
It's an appliance, not a name. I don't know. It's my daughter. It's not Doug Baldwin.
Today.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and finish up this Madness before we go 2-minute warning, and let's do a very special caption that picture. Yes, it's time for a Caption That Picture, where we take a picture from last week's game and we add our own little caption to it. And this is a very clever little picture. It's a picture of the big unit, Randy Johnson, if you're not familiar who he is, pitcher for the Mariners for a long time, and the Arizona Diamondbacks. We don't want to ignore them, but we're more worried about the Mariners. He raised the flag Sunday, the 12th-man flag, he raised the 12's flag, and with him is our owner, Paul Allen. And Paul Allen has a look on his face. Well, he has an interesting look on his face. So, Matt, do you have a caption for this picture?
Only one that I've literally done in the last second. So, but I'm good to go.
Please, caption that picture.
Paul Allen looking a bit shocked. Oh my God, did you play Chewbacca in The Force Awakens?
He could.
Oh, that's
he
nice.
absolutely could.
That's very nice. And the voice to match as well. Will, do you have a caption for this picture?
I do.
Will, caption that picture.
You're kidding. The Mariners used to be good?
Oh! Ouch.
Ooh.
We're down, lost 3/4 of our audience. Okay.
Will's going off.
Yeah, Dustin, do you have a caption for that picture?
I do. As Paul Allen, I'm saying, my unit never looks that big.
Oh,
big unit.
That's juvenile.
It is. And
That's what I do.
As usual, I have two. Both of them are Paul Allen talking. Paul says, but it looks so real. Nobody would think that's a rig, Randy. No one would think that's a wig, Randy. There we go.
That's
like a wig. His hair, I'm sorry, it looks like a wig.
Drumline there.
It looks so real. Nobody would think it's a wig, Randy. That's hard to say.
He looks a little bit like Tom Cruise. Like at the age of 74 as well.
Yeah, and on stilts. The last caption that picture I have is not as funny, but it's Paul Allen going, "Oh my God, you look so much taller in person."
Oh my God.
Oh my God. Oh my God, it's a 2-minute warning.
Holy shit, it's a 2-minute warning.
Wow.
Yes, it's a 2-minute warning. And look back at our predictions of the 49er game.
All
right, let's recap our predictions. Once again, we're keeping score on our predictions this season. Game balls get 3 points. Prognostications, if they hit, get 3 points. If nobody hits, the closest gets a point. Predictions. Both teams score on the button 5 points. One team score on the button 3 points. And if nobody gets the exact score, the closest gets a point. It's really close this week. We look at scores. They were pretty good. 29-13. There were some really close ones.
Yeah.
Got to go with Mark.
Prognostication's really good, too.
Yeah. Mark's got to go with Mark because he got the 49ers score right. And then it would be 31-13 if Hauschka could kick extra points, which we didn't talk about. But so Mark was really good. He hit the 49ers score on a button, and I think he was the closest. But it was very, very close. Prognostication's very good. Will said 4 offensive touchdowns. That happened. Our guest, who was Mike Pascal of Game Buzz fame, he said Wilson, no interceptions, and that happened. So we got to like those.
You got to give it a Will, don't you?
Yeah, well, we gave it to both because they both got him. And then game balls were interesting because obviously, Thomas Rawls would be our game ball, but nobody picked him. So given Wilson, Bennett, Lynch, and Graham, you had to kind of go with Wilson. Bennett was kind of a non-factor. Of course, Lynch didn't even play. Graham had 4 catches for 40 yards or something like that. But Wilson did play, I think, a really good game. So good enough in this list to get our game ball, which means our scores look like this. The guests get 6, Will gets 6, Mark gets 4, and our overall scores look like this. Will widens his lead 37-20 over me. Mark makes a run at 19, Dustin 13, guest 12, and Matt at 6. So
I feel like 49ers. It's just terrible.
But don't worry, it's your time now because now it's halftime.
Bounce back quickly.
Holy shit, it's halftime.
So
Now
Kaepernick
it's
didn't
halftime.
play, huh?
Yes, it's halftime. It's time to get ready for the best Seahawk-themed trivia show that you can play along with on the internet. It's another can't-miss edition of the 12th Man Fan Jam Halftime Trivia right after this.
Hey, this is Matt, all the way from merry old England, and you're listening to the 12th Man Fan Jam.
Yes, it's halftime, and welcome to another fun-filled edition of the best play-along Seahawk-themed trivia game show on the internet. It's time for 12th Man Fan Jam Halftime Trivia with your host, the self-appointed Reverend Moses of the St. Paul Allen Church of Seahawk Positivity.
Yes, thank you, and welcome to 12th Man Fan Jam Halftime Trivia, the game where you, the listener and viewer, can play along with the posse while I subject them to trivia questions based on the Seahawk opponents. This week, our contestants are the posse themselves. That, of course, is Matt, Will, and Dustin. And here again are the rules.
So here's how the trivia game works. There will be 2 rounds of questions. Each contestant answers 1 question each round. If they get it correct, they get 1 point. After 2 rounds of questions, there will be a final trivia question worth 2 points. If there's a tie after that, then the tied players go on to a special secret overtime question where the winner becomes reigning 12th Man Fan Jam Trivia Champion and gets to have a special 60-second rant between the first and second quarter of the very next episode of the 12th Man Fan Jam Show. As an added bonus to those listeners on the Seahawk Positivity YouTube channel, the questions and possible answers will be displayed on your screen, so you, the viewer and listener, can play along as well if you wish. If you'd like to play along, please let us know how you did on the questions. Remember, there's no Googling, no phone a friend, and please, no wagering. However, there is a lifeline for each of the contestants. Before the taping of this show, my 2 charming Seahawk fan children, Mosette and Little Mo, did take this quiz. And if the contestants want to know what the kids said, they may ask that only once during the entire game show and only during the first 2 rounds. Now let's get ready to play 12th Man Fan Jam Trivia.
Okay, the rules have been laid out, so let's play. The first topics of 3 questions, I will tell you that one of them is about Super Bowl XL, and the other 2 are about the Steelers and the Seahawks, so in general. So you may get 1 XL question each round, so be careful.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I know. Since Matt is our reigning champ, shock of shocks, I will have Matt pick question 1, 2, or 3.
2, please.
Matt went with 2. That will leave Will with 1 or 3.
I'll take 1.
Will take 1. Dustin, would you like 3?
I'm gonna go with Russell Wilson, number 3, I think.
All right, well done. All right, here we go. Will, your question is a Super Bowl XL question.
I saw that coming.
You saw that coming. Here we
But
go.
my PTSD is going to come back from that game.
Yeah, probably. Unfortunately, Hines Ward won the Super Bowl 40 MVP. How many yards receiving?
Bastard.
I know. How many yards receiving did Hines Ward have for the Steelers in that game? Was it 123 yards, 131 yards, or 135 yards? And there's some Oregon for you, buddy.
I'm going to go 135.
He's going 135. It's funny you say that. Little Mo went 135. Mosette went 131. It's 123. 123. That was enough for an MVP in Super Bowl 40. All right.
Well,
Which
I
means
had
you
to give
two
it to
guys have
somebody,
the...
and everybody sucked in that game.
Yeah, they all did. Question 2 goes to Matt. Matt, the last time the Steelers won in Seattle, what year was it? 1983, 1987, or 1991? Last time the Steelers won in Seattle. 83, 87, or 91?
Oh. God. Well, it's got to be 93? Hello?
Hello? Did you say 83?
What did you say, 93 or 83?
No, 83, 87, or 91.
I'll say 83.
He'll say 83. Mosette said 87. Little Mo said 91. You said 83. Yep. 1983, last time the Steelers won in Seattle.
What the score was.
Isn't that crazy? Guess what, guys? Matt's on the board. All right. Dustin.
Yeah.
Your question is this. What was the last time the Seahawks won in Pittsburgh? Last time the Seahawks won in Pittsburgh, was it 98, 99, or 2001?
I got that one.
99.
He's going 99. Are you
I'll go 99.
Googling?
I graduated high school in 99. It was a good year for me, so I'll go with 99.
Are you Googling?
No.
Okay. He's going 99 because the other graduated. Lil Mo said 99. Mosette said 2001. Yep, 99. Dustin's on the board.
All right.
Glenn
All right.
Fuller started for us, I think, in that game.
Who did?
Oh, wow.
I think that was the one game Glenn Foley played. And we
Yeah, I
won.
believe you're right. I believe it is. I believe Glenn Foley did start for us. Wasn't he wearing 13 for us, too?
Yep.
Yeah, Glenn Foley. Man, there's a blast in the past. That was during the Gino Toretta years, wasn't it?
Slightly thereafter.
Yeah. All right, we go to round 2. Matt and Dustin are on the board. Matt, 4, 5, or 6?
5, please.
Matt will take 5. Dustin, 4 or 6?
4.
And that will leave Will with 6. All right.
I want 7.
Sorry, you have to wait for that one. Dustin, you got a Super Bowl 40 question.
I love those questions.
Oh, you're going to love this one. Now, the Rolling Stones played halftime of Super Bowl 40. My question for you, and I don't remember it because I didn't watch it because I was too wound up, but how many songs did the Stones play at halftime? How many songs? 3, 4, or 5? How many songs did the Stones play at halftime? 3, 4, or 5 songs?
That actually was a pretty cool performance.
It was.
I feel like the time restraint, or there's time constraints for that. I'm going to say 5 or 4.
Which one, 5 or 4?
Yes.
The answer is
4.
He's going with 4.
Say 4.
He's going with 4. Mosette and Little Mo said 3. You said 4 or 5 or whatever. It doesn't matter. It's 3. Nice try.
They played full songs. They played
no
full
left
songs.
shark either.
3 songs and they moved on. Yeah, it was that was awful. Okay, Matt. The last time the Seahawks played the Steelers, who was the leading rusher for the Seahawks? Was it Tavares Jackson, Marshawn Lynch, or Justin Forsett? The leading rusher for the Seahawks last time they played the Steelers, was it Tavares Jackson, Marshawn Lynch, or Justin Forsett? Oh, in Pittsburgh, the last time the Seahawks played the Steelers in Pittsburgh, who was the leading rusher? Tavares Jackson, Marshawn Lynch, or Justin Forsett? Let me say that.
I think that was the last time we played him. So
I'm going to ask the kids.
You what?
The kids.
Oh, ask
I'm
kids.
going to ask the kids.
Mosette said Marshawn Lynch, and Little Mo said Justin Forsett. Last time the Seahawks played the Steelers in Pittsburgh, who was the leading rusher? Tavares Jackson, Marshawn Lynch, or Justin Forsett? Mosette said Marshawn Lynch.
Isn't it? It's got to be
And
Marshawn Lynch. I'll
Lil
go with
Mo
Mosette.
said
She's probably
Justin
right.
Forsett.
But no, it's not Forsett, so I was going to go Marshawn Lynch. She was good, bound to have had a good day.
So you're going with Marshawn?
Mosette's probably right.
Mosette's probably right. No. It was Tavares Jackson.
Get out.
Here's the sad
Shut up.
part.
That should tell you about how bad that game was.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the leading rusher was Tavares Jackson, who had a whopping total of 12 yards rushing. 12. 1, 2. Led the team
Shout out
with
to
12
the
yards
fans.
rushing. That was awful. I remember that game
Goodness
was just
gracious.
hideous. I was just... That's the closest I've come to turning off a game. I can remember going, I just need to turn this off. But I watched the whole thing.
Wasn't that a shutout?
Yeah, shout out to the fans. Yeah.
We've played in Pittsburgh twice since Super Bowl 40, and we've been shut out both.
Yes.
We haven't scored a point on Pittsburgh since Jeremy Stevens touched in the Super Bowl.
Yes.
All right.
Very true.
I don't think Will should be talking the rest of the show now after that. Terrible.
But,
Well, we're going to change it this Sunday.
That's right.
There we go.
Terrible.
He's back in. He's back in.
He's back in. All right, Will. This is your chance to get on the board here. The last time the Seahawks beat the Steelers in Seattle, who was the leading rusher? Was it Justin Forsett, Sean Alexander, or Maurice Morris? Momo! Little Momo for you. Last time the Seahawks beat the Steelers in Seattle, who was the leading rusher? Justin Forsett, Sean Alexander, or Maurice Morris?
Mosette, Little Mo, what you got for me?
Going with the kids. Mosette said Justin Forsett, and Little Mo said Sean Alexander. Last time the Seahawks beat the Steelers in Seattle, who was the leading rusher? Forsett, Alexander, or Morris? Mosette said Forsett, Little Mo said Alexander.
Well, this was back in 2003, and that was when Sean Alexander was good.
So, what's your point?
I'm picking Sean Alexander.
Because he was good.
Oh, you are you? Picking Sean Alexander?
Yes.
Well, you should, because that's the right answer.
Woohoo!
And on a cheerier note, Sean Alexander had 48 yards. That's not a lot, but, I mean, it's better than 12 that Tavares Jackson had.
Yeah, we won.
All right. Yeah,
Wow.
better than 1. All right. Here we go. We are all tied. So the order will be Will, and then Dustin, and then Matt for the final question. Of course, it's a number. The person closest without going over gets 2 points and wins. If you're all over, the closest number to the actual number will be our winner. Here we go. Are you ready, Will?
Yepers.
All right. It's another Super Bowl 40 question.
On
You know-
second thought, no.
Our offense did not do poorly in that game despite only having 10 points. How many yards did Matt Hasselbeck throw for in Super Bowl 40? How many yards did Matt Hasselbeck throw for in Super Bowl 40, Will?
I'm going to go with 248.
248. Dustin, how many yards did Matt Hasselbeck throw for in Super Bowl XL?
How many did he actually throw for, or how many?
In his mind, what did he think he threw for? No.
Way different.
Does this count passes that were
Taken away?
negated by bogus penalties?
No. Actual statistical yards that Matt Hasselbeck threw for in Super Bowl XL.
I'll go 235.
235. Okay, here we are. Dustin, 235. Will, 248. How many yards did Matt Hasselbeck throw for in Super Bowl XL, Matt?
40. I'll go right in the middle. 247.
247.
It's not right in the middle.
That's hardly in the middle. 248, 247, and 235.
I'm just going to go 247. It'll be fine.
I think he's just tired. I think he's just tired.
It's half 3 in the morning.
He's tired. The actual amount of yards that Matt Hasselbeck threw for in Super Bowl XL was 273. Which means the winner takes it all.
Well, Will.
Will, congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Awesome stuff. Wow. An amazing. We have a new champion, finally. And this has been an amazing, action, award-winning, action-filled, wonderful version of Halftime Trivia. Coming up, we talk about the upcoming game with the Steelers, make our predictions for the game. But first, it's a very special Steel-themed top 3 right after this. Greetings, everyone. It's Moses here, and since we're playing the Steelers this week, or is it the Steelers?
Oh, okay. I see what you did there.
I thought it would be a good time to have another 12th Man Fan Jam Top 3. This week, based from our home office in a Steely Dan album cover, comes the top 3 worst steals, or steals, of all time. At number 3, we have Remington Steele, a TV series in the 1980s. The premise is that some lady opened a detective agency and nobody would hire her because she's a woman.
It's not very ladylike.
Oh, those wacky TV shows of the 80s. Anyway, she hires this guy to be head of the agency, and the wackiness ensues. Kinda, I guess. I don't know. I never watched it. This show is given credit for launching the acting career of one Pierce Brosnan.
Damn straight.
Although I don't remember anything else he was in that was interesting.
The name's Bond. James Bond.
Oh, yeah, that. The Bond movies. The Bond movies haven't been relevant since Roger Moore and Sean Connery.
Thanks a lot, asswipe.
At number 2, we have the 1997 movie Steel. Heard of this 1997 movie Steel? Yeah, me either. Chances are you missed out on this terrible superhero movie that stars Shaquille O'Neal as a superhero who goes into the street to defeat crime by dressing up in a steel outfit and using various gadgets. Basically, it's like a 7-foot Batman that can't act. At least I think it's like a 7-foot Batman that can't act. I don't know. I never watched this either, but I heard it stinks.
Don't tell Grandma.
No, I won't tell your grandmother that you were in this movie. Don't worry, Shaquille. Moving on. The number 1 worst steal of all time, of course, the stealing of Super Bowl 40 by the Pittsburgh Steelers themselves. We all know the conspiracies leading up to and during Super Bowl XL. It was so blatantly bad that I have had many Steeler fans come up to me over the years apologizing after the fact. And you know, when a fan base has to apologize for a Super Bowl victory to the losing fan base, yeah, it's pretty bad. From the key to the city to Jerome Bettis to Hank Williams decked out in Steeler gear to the actual game itself and those wonderful, wonderful calls. This game was set up in Detroit with only one possible outcome. Steelers win at all costs. At least they could have hidden the conspiracy a little better from the rest of us. So that's the top 3 worst steals or steals of all time. This is Moses reminding you that until next time, remember that all good things always come in threes.
Holy shit, it's the third quarter.
Yes, welcome to the start of the second half of episode 319 of your 12th Man Fan Jam show, the Steeler edition. I am your self-appointed Reverend Moses of the St. Paul Island Church of Seahawk Positivity, and hey, let's get ourselves a quick drink with our drink of the week. Yes, drink of the week, where our 12th Man Fan Jam mixologist Moses conjures up a delicious drink based upon the Seahawk opponent. So, gentlemen, belly up to the 12th Man Fan Jam bar and let me pour you a new special drink. Are you guys ready?
Aye.
You're always ready. Aye. This week we're going to take some Pick Cola. We're going to take some Burger Beer and some Steel Reserve Spiked Punch. Pick Cola, Burger Beer, Steel Reserve Spiked Punch. We're going to punch. We're going to make ourselves a Pittsburgh Steeler. I've already been drinking. We're going to make ourselves a Pittsburgh Steeler. One drink you think is 1978 again. 2 drinks you throw your shirt to a little kid like me, Joe Green. And with 3 drinks you lose your hair like Terry Bradshaw. So.
Too late.
Yeah. That's your drink of the week. Disclaimer. 12th Man Fan Jam doesn't advocate drinking or mixing drinks discussed here. Moses sucks at making drinks. Blah, blah, blah. Kool-Aid, root beer schnapps. Attempt the previous drink at your own risk.
Premature death. may cause premature death and anal leakage.
Remember that this was done for entertainment purposes only. Always remember to drink responsibly, blah, blah, blah. Okay, before we start the third quarter, we're going to talk about stats and injuries and keys to the game and things like that. Will won the halftime trivia, broke the winning streak by Matt. I think Matt just kind of took a knee at the end of the game. But anyway.
I took a knee.
Yeah. but Will you tell us what you told us in between quarters real quick about your luck?
Well, Moses, after I blew the first question, I'm actually visiting my parents right now for Thanksgiving. I'm in my father's den, which is full of all the random stuff you can imagine and several things you can't. And sitting next to me is this straw hat, so I figured, oh, why not? Couldn't hurt. So I put on the hat for the last two trivia questions and got them right. So this will be my new trivia hat from now on.
There's his new trivia hat, folks. That has a caption, this picture all to itself. So if you'd like to caption that picture, well, I'd love to hear it. But I keep looking at it and thinking, Will Harrison stars in On Golden Pond, the remake. You helped hope. Look it up, kids. That's funnier than you think it is. All right. Trust me on this. I might have to put a picture up now of Katharine Hepburn right next to Will, and so you can see what I'm talking about.
That would improve things.
Yeah, it might. All right, let's talk about this football game. Seattle Seahawks, Pittsburgh Steelers, 125 Seattle time on Sunday. Real quick, let's look at the tail of the tape. When Seattle has the ball, you're talking about a 10th overall ranked offense against a 23rd ranked defense. They are 5th against the run defensively, but 28th against the pass. We all know Seattle likes to run the ball. And when Pittsburgh has the ball, we're talking about the 2nd ranked defense in the NFL against the 6th ranked offense. They are 6th against the run. They are 6th running the ball, and they are 13th in passing. We are 11th in stopping the run and 2nd in pass. Anything anybody want to share about those stats before we move on?
We made them up ourselves before we started.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Cool. Excellent.
Well, we can't let Pittsburgh run all over us. I mean,
no.
We gotta force Roethlisberger into 3rd and longs where Averill and Bennett can get after him, and then force turnovers that way.
Yes. I found some other keys I'll share with you later at the end of the quarter, also in regards to running the ball, which I think will make us feel a lot better about this game. But we'll move on right now, and we'll move on to Medic Matt. Medic Matt? How about Medic Matt? Medic Matt, what is an injury issue that we have for this game?
Well, as you know, every time you go to a Seahawks game, every person clocks in. And Mr. Jeremiah Finkelhauser from floor 302, seat 387, he can't attend this game. He's got an ingrown toenail. So he's not going to be there.
I'm sorry.
I love that guy.
I know. Everyone loves that guy, but he's out. I'm sorry about that.
Who else in the crowd?
But that's the only one that I've reported thus far.
Everybody else is probable.
There's patient confidentiality, so I can't say everybody.
But
although I understand that somebody called Paul Allen, I think, is on a boat now, parking it in Reykjavik Harbour. So I don't know. He probably won't be there either. As far as actual team members are concerned, injury-wise, actually, Irvin's out. He's doubtful. He's not out. Is doubtful, and that could be problematic because if you do want to force old Cheeseburger into 3rd and longs, then you got to want that sort of rush attack. That's he's missing. Patrick Lewis actually practiced all week, so he should be back. Actually,
good.
Rules was feeling under the weather, according to Pete Carroll, but there's no problem there. And obviously Marshawn Lynch out.
Yeah.
He's had all the stitches and all that sort of stuff, and Jeremy Lane is good to go.
Other linemen that ended that game in injuries, they're okay. I know. I saw Sweezy was fine. It looked like.
Yep.
Britt's okay. Everybody's happy.
Yep. Everyone's up and going.
Very, very good. I'm glad to hear it. And of course, for the Steelers, being without Le'Veon Bell is going to be a big issue for the game, I'm sure.
As well as my fantasy team, yeah.
Yeah, as well as your fantasy team.
The important things.
Yeah, it's the important stuff. What point spread do we have here, Dustin, for this game?
The point spread, let me look real quick, is I just walked away from my piece of paper here. Hawks are favored by 3.5.
Okay. What's the over under?
Over under is 46 on average.
46, all right.
Yeah. Should be plenty of points being scored, it sounds like, according to Vegas, even with two solid defenses.
Yeah, around 22, 24 game. Yeah. Will, does that sound a little high for you on the over-under?
It's, I think it's going to come in right around there. The final score will be, but it wouldn't surprise me if it was a defensive struggle, and it wouldn't surprise me if both teams just... This is just one of those games that go any which way.
Mm-hmm. It's hard because they're not familiar. I mean, we're not familiar with them, and they're not familiar with us, so it's really hard to get a good grip on just film of a team that you haven't seen in 4 years or whatever. So it's very difficult. That could be a good thing or a bad thing. So we'll have to see. I found a couple of interesting stats real quick before we do move on. Because I know, Matt, what's your view on the point spread? Are you okay with that?
I don't care.
Yeah, I know.
To be honest,
Okay,
don't
so,
give a toss.
That's right. Two interesting stats I want to share that will make you feel better about this game that I found when I was tweeting along my little road. And the first one is this. Apparently, the defense of the Steelers has not played a lot of teams with runners. Okay? The Steelers' record when an opponent rushes for 75 yards in a game or more, 2-4.
Oh, I thought when you said they don't play a lot of games with runners, I thought, what, were they all in wheelchairs or something? What?
Yeah.
Well, they just didn't play
Not
a
all
lot
of
of
those
teams.
guys do CrossFit, so they don't do cross country.
And the two teams have had a 100-yard rusher against the Steelers. Kansas City and Baltimore, both of them beat them. So if we can get Rawls to 100, good things might happen. Of course, usually that happens anyway if you're running the ball and you get a 100-yard rusher. Usually more wins than losses anyway. But thought that was interesting. And a team that loves to run a ball like Seattle, I really think, to me, the key to the game, and we'll go around real quick with your key to the game. My key to the game is this: if Seattle can run the ball. If Seattle can run the ball, I think it's going to be very difficult for Pittsburgh to keep up. Will, what is your one key to this game?
Well, I already touched on it earlier, but stop the run.
Yeah.
And we've generally been good at that. We've had a couple games where we've let guys get some good rushing totals on us. We can't let it happen this time. We can't let D'Angelo Williams go off, or it's going to be a long day.
Who's a very capable backup.
Yes, he is.
Very good running back. And a great guy. If you have not noticed his hair, the story is he couldn't wear anything pink. He wanted to wear pink all year for, was his mother, I believe, that had breast cancer?
His
mother. His mother, aunt or something, yeah.
Yeah, and they wouldn't let him do it, so he dyed the ends of his hair pink, which what a great guy. I applaud that. That's fantastic. So way to go, D'Angelo. But we hope you don't play very well Sunday, but he's a great guy. Matt, what do you think is your number one key to this game for the Seahawks winning?
I'm going to return to what I used to say many years ago: penalties. Mm-hmm. We cannot allow easy, first downs, and if we've got to get them off the field on third downs. We can't do false starts. We can't do unless holding and all that other rubbish that we seem to be doing. And Bennett's got to line up in the right place. So it's all about penalties for me.
Good. Dustin, what's your key to this game?
Well, I think it's something that we started to improve on last week, and that's going to be the red zone offense for the Seahawks. Mm-hmm. If they get closer to 20 against a team like Pittsburgh that can be explosive, you can't trade field goals for touchdowns. So we got to get in the end zone, score some touchdowns. So that's key to me.
Excellent. Real quick, Dustin gave us an over-under and point spread, but this line in the game given by Dustin. The 12th Man Fan Jam Show does not endorse betting on anything at any time. These numbers have been presented for entertainment purposes only. Please don't take anything we say on the show seriously ever in your entire life. All right. Wanted to get that out of the way before we get ready for the fourth quarter.
It's the end of the third quarter, bitches.
All right, coming up next, predictions, prognostications, game balls. We take all this information, we stir it around, and we spit you out some predictions for the upcoming game between the Seahawks and the Steelers. Right after this quick station identification, you are listening and watching the 12th Man Fan Jam Show, smashing down the steel curtain. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the 12th Man Fan Jam on the Seahawk Positivity YouTube channel.
My mother and my brother and my sister all agree. Pittsburgh sucks. 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 Pittsburgh sucks.
And now it's time for the fourth quarter of the 12th Man Fan Jam. Here to lead us through the final quarter is once again our host, the self-appointed Reverend Moses of the St. Paul Allen Church of Seahawk Positivity.
Welcome back to the fourth and final quarter of episode 319, the very special Steeler edition of your 12th Man Fan Jam show. It's time for our predictions, our prognostications, and game balls for the Seahawks-Steeler game. This year we are keeping score on how well we do on predictions. The scores are like this. Game balls get 3 points.
Stop saying them.
What?
So don't go through the whole where we stand at again, right? Because I'm at the bottom. All right, it's starting to tick me.
Prognostications 3 points.
Now.
If they're not close, you get a
like
point. Predictions on the button 5 points. One team 3 points. If no one, everyone gets a point, and there's your scores. And we'll move on. Our guest predictor this week.
Because I didn't even win bloody trivia this week. All right, so let's just not even go there.
He's a grumpy
Maybe
bear.
that means you're going to win this.
I didn't win it because of a bloody hat. That's why I didn't.
Oh,
win
you
it.
took a knee. You took 247 and 248. Now, people see that on The Price is Right, and they're like, what the hell did that person just do? But
yeah, but that person doesn't play Places Right at 3:30 in the morning. I'm sorry.
No, that's true. Here's what happens.
hearing a lot of
When
excuses
it happens
right
to Price
now.
is Right, this happens, buddy. So, deal with
What
it. All
happens
right.
in The
I thought
Price
that
is
was
Right
Scooby-Doo.
stays in The Price is Right.
Oh, my God.
Sorry,
All
Moses,
right,
carry
here we
on.
go. Our guest predictor this week is Ian Robert Smith, who is also from merry old England. He is a wonderful, wonderful man, big in stature, huge in heart. The president, you say there, Matthew?
He's Mr. President of the UK Seahawks, Mr. President.
He is. And if you look up NFL ambassador in the dictionary, there should be a picture of this guy. He is one of the greatest guys. He's huge in stature, but even bigger in heart. Wonderful guy. We love Smudge to death.
Good man.
Yes, great man. His prediction is...
/ media whore. Just putting it out there.
Yeah, that too, as well.
Aren't we all?
Smudge says 17-16 Seahawks. Game ball to Richard Sherman, who will need to play a blinder. And my boy Cassius Marsh will get his first stack. That is his prognostication.
You don't know what a blinder is, do you?
I have
I
no
was
clue.
just trying to figure that out.
Here's what he says. Richard Sherman,
we
who will
wanna
need to
know?
play a blinder. Matt, translate for
translate
us.
for you.
What the hell is a blinder?
A blinder is
Speak
a
English.
good game.
Oh, wait.
A blinder is a good game. So that would be... He's done a grand job. A good job.
So how to play in a blinder.
Huh.
Okay.
I would have never guessed that.
Nor would I. All right, so he also says, does anyone in the front office know where London is? And that I hope we're on top of the list for Mexico City or Germany. I'm sure that's reference to the fact that we are not getting a game in London next year.
Good.
I love the fact that we have the sheepy bitches coming to London and playing at Twickenham. So
That's the Lamb.
That's the Rams. I have to
I
translate
figured that much.
Yeah, I know
What's
what
the
sheepy bitches
Twickenham?
are. All right.
I love it when you say Twickenham.
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 What is it?
Twickenham.
Is that the
Oh,
name
for
of a town?
Christ's sake.
Twickenham. It's
Whatever.
Just a stadium.
Twickenham. Whatever.
I don't know what that means.
That's
There's
like
no ham.
you don't say Louisville if you're from this area. You say Louisville. It's Louisville.
Yeah,
Kind of like
Louisville.
New Orleans, too. They don't
It's
say
New Orleans.
New Orleans.
Wow,
It's
Yeah.
New Orleans.
New Orleans.
so
No.
Twickenham.
So it's Twickenham. Whatever. The sheepy bitches are playing in Twickenham. All right.
Do it in a French accent.
Oh, the sheepy bitches
No, don't.
coming
No,
back
don't.
to London and playing at Twickenham. Oh,
If they're from Jamaica, yes, apparently that's where the French person comes from.
that
I'm
and
drunk.
on the sheepy bitches coming back to London and playing the Twickenham.
Let's go.
I don't know what the hell that was. Damn, my accent's set. All right.
Dear me.
Mark, Statsman Mark is not here, and he's probably happy. He says, sorry I'm out for tonight. Here's my take. Seahawks 24-23. Prognostication 2 INTs by the defense. Game ball to Earl Thomas. In my opinion, this is going to be a nail-biter with Steelers having plenty of time to game plan. They are still in the hunt for their division. They currently hold the top wildcard spot in the AFC, but the Seahawks are playing for their playoff lives, are at home, and have an opportunity to close out a game against a scrappy opponent. They will be further motivated by the fact the Falcons and Packers are reeling, and that we have a shot at heading into Minnesota with the winning record for the first time all season. Put all that together, and our motivation and fire should be at a peak for Sunday. Go Seahawks! So that's from Statsman Mark. All right. Now we go to Will. Hi, Will.
Hi, Moses.
Are you still wearing a hat?
No, I figured that was just for trivia.
What else you wearing? I'm just kidding. Sorry.
Nice.
Sorry. Would you like to give us some predictions?
I would. I believe the Seahawks are going to take this one 24-20.
24-20?
I also believe it's going to be a nail biter, but I believe Seattle will be aided by a defensive touchdown of some sort. That's my prognostication. And my game ball is going to the person who I proclaimed earlier needs to be a Pro Bowler this year, and that will be Cliff Averill.
Very nice. Very nice. I think he would have won it last week with our list.
Yeah, would have come close.
Yeah. Hi, Dustin.
Hey.
Hey, what are you doing?
Hanging out, talking on a podcast.
We'll put it back in and give us a score. Yeah.
Okay. You caught me off guard there a little bit, but
you said we're hanging out. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. All right. So I think the Seahawks are going to win 27-24. I think it's going to be a last-second field goal to win it. That is not my prognostication because I keep looking for new prognostications that I haven't done before because it seems like I try and say the same stuff or
hey, don't pick don't pick Kaepernick.
Yeah, no. Yeah, in light of my prognostication last week, I'll probably say Bell's going to make a surprise appearance like The Rock at WrestleMania to show up and have a match. No, just kidding. I'm going to go way out the left field and something. It's kind of lame, but we haven't guessed this one before. I'm going to say the Seahawks win the coin toss at the beginning of the game. That's what I got.
How are we going to know that?
I'll be there. I can verify.
Okay, I'm going to need you guys.
Because they'll say the Seahawks chose to defer.
Not usually, but that's okay. Okay, okay, Seahawks with a coin toss. All right, fair enough. I like that one. They got 50-50 shot. Why not?
Yeah, why not? All right, game ball. I'm going to give to Russell Wilson. I think he's going to go off on the Steelers this week just because we need him to.
Yeah, all right. Agree there. Hi, Matt.
Hi.
Are you still bitter?
Always.
Okay. You got a score for us?
Just in general,
consistent.
Really.
Are you ready to? Are you ready to? Let me try my new phrase. Are you ready to give a score like a blinder?
No, you wouldn't say it like that. It's rubbish.
Oh, well.
You'd say, are you ready to play a blinder?
Are you ready to play a blinder?
Rubbish
play
garbage
a blinder.
to translate.
Okay. I know that.
Okay.
Thank you. God, rubbish is trash.
Oh my goodness. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Right. I think the Seahawks score is going to be Steelers 17, Seahawks 20.
All right.
My game ball is going to go to Sherman.
Okay.
And we're going to have 2 INTs, and one of those will be Sherman, and there will be a pick 6.
All right. Excellent.
For Sherman. And, yeah, that's it.
All right. Somebody drop the ice. All right. Pick up the ice. All right.
He's making the drink of the week.
No, I'm cleaning up after my dog. She made a mess. I'm sorry.
You got a cow and a dog?
Yeah.
Oh, bad dog. All right. Well, just when the NFL thought they could let out a collective sigh that maybe the Seahawks wouldn't be in the playoffs this season, Seahawks rear their ugly head up and say, "I'm not dead yet." Yes, the Seahawks are clearly alive and well in playoff talks after last week's convincing win over the 49ers, but this week they get a bigger test in the Steelers. Seahawks and Steelers don't see very much of each other, and that can be a good thing or a bad thing. But check this out. In the last 10 Super Bowls, out of 20 possible Super Bowl teams, the Steelers and Seahawks have made up 7 out of those 20 teams. That's 35% over the last 10 years. That's not bad.
Your maths is good tonight.
Isn't that nice? The Steelers have been no Roethlisberger still, and playmaker Antonio Brown on offense. And even though they've lost Le'Veon Bell, they do have a very capable backup in D'Angelo Williams. Defensively, the Steelers are ranked 33rd, and that is hardly called a steel curtain. For me, the key to this game will be the Seahawk offense against the Steeler defense. In the friendly confines of Century League Field, I like our chances. See my game ball, Thomas Rawls, chew up yards on the ground behind an offensive line that continues to get better and better. See Roethlisberger try to force things late, leading to 2 interceptions, like my prognostication, like so many others. See, the Steelers run with us for a while, but we're down under the pressure of the Seahawk defense, no Bill Levy, and a loud group of 12s. And see the Steelers fall in Seattle by a score of Seattle Seahawks 31, Pittsburgh Steelers 20.
So let it be written. So let it be done.
Well, it looks like it's time to bring another wonderful and amazing 12th Man Fan Jam show to a close. We're so glad you decided to waste some time with us. It was, as usual, a show that raised the bar here at the Seahawk Positivity YouTube channel. We certainly hope you laughed a little and maybe you learned a little something along the way. What did we learn this evening? Well, we learned that Manziel's party habits have consequences. We learned how to praise Jim Bob Cooter. We learned the Cowboys have a dress code but no conduct code. We also found out what it's like to play a blinder. And we found out that Will has a lucky hat. So, on behalf of my partner in crime, Matt from Merry Old England, our news hound, Shadowhawk Will, and Dustin as the Beaver, this is your self-appointed Reverend Moses from the St. Paul Allen Church of Seahawk Positivity saying enjoy the game Sunday and go Hawks!
Go Hawks!
Yeah.